Today, I am talking about showing up as an authority even when you don't feel like one. And here's why I'm talking about it. So, I have been talking to so many people lately about authority and about showing up. And I've been recognizing that there is a real issue with feeling like you have to be someone else, you have to put something on, or everything has to be just right in order to show up powerfully. So today, I'm going to be talking about the pitfalls with having what I think of as an on and off switch with your authority, and why your authority is actually a part of who you already are and not something you put on like a costume. So, number one, this is probably the most common one that I've been hearing. Perfectionism, and I also add / procrastination, because these two things go hand in hand. So we put off doing things like going live, like writing a post, like having the difficult conversations with our team or with a relationship person, because it feels uncomfortable or it feels scary, or because we're afraid of doing it imperfectly. Perfection kills just about everything it touches. And it's so funny because, and I'm a perfectionist, so I feel like I can say that. I'm a perfectionist, and I also attract other perfectionists to me. So I completely relate and understand this concept. We think it's a crutch that we use, and we think that it's being helpful. And when it comes to things like authority, it's a killer. And it's a killer because it, like I said, it goes hand in hand with procrastination. It prevents us from actually doing the thing, from actually showing up, because we don't think that it's going to be right. And when we don't think it's going to be right, then we don't want to do it. And when we don't do it, then we're not showing up, which means we are not leading. We are not being an authority. Very, very common. So I want to hear from you. If this is you, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Be like, oh, yep, that's me. I'm a perfectionist. This is one of the hugest things that keeps us from being an authority. Number two, this is another thing that I've been hearing a lot. I call this putting on a costume. And this can show up in a whole lot of different ways. So if this is you too, I want you to be like, yep, that's me. And here's the other thing. You might show up in more than one of these. It's totally normal. So putting on a costume, this can show up as, some kind of persona. I think of this also as like turning the switch on and off. Like, okay, now I'm in my authority face, and now I'm my normal self, right? It can show up as a shot of tequila that you need in order to numb your senses and make your perfectionism go away, make your inhibition go away, so that you can let it all out and be confident, be yourself, right? It can show up as your full face of makeup or hair or your clothes or whatever, the full look that you need to have, that you wouldn't dare show up without, for fear of looking like a fraud or looking like someone who doesn't belong in a position of authority. All of these types of putting on a costume are also massive killers to authority. One of the most attractive qualities in a person of authority is, besides confidence, is in their authenticity, their abilities to be themselves, to be vulnerable in front of people, and to be confident, right? When you put these things on, no one thinks that it's real. Everyone sees through that, right? These things are killers to your ability to show up as an authority. Instead, you look like your very fear, the very reason that you put on, just like perfectionism, we think we're helping ourselves. Any type of costume that you're putting on, you think that it's helping you show up as a leader, but what it's doing is helping you to show up as the exact thing you're afraid of, which is being an imposter. that's what happens, because we are instinctive beings and we pick up on all this kind of thing. We pick up on cues like that. We can pick up on that kind of insecurity, that kind of facade that people are putting on. So putting on a costume is another pitfall. The last one, and this one's probably my favorite one, indecision. There are way too many ways that this shows up for me to talk about today. But showing up, being an authority, having confidence, all those things that we all want, these are not things that you wait for other people to give you, like some kind of award or trophy. They're also not something that grows within you like a seed that you plant. They're decisions, they're choices that you make. I talk about this in my book because I was talking about how in my marriage, the things that I was lacking, the things that I needed, I needed to feel loved, and I needed to feel desired, and I needed to feel beautiful and sexy and all of those things. And it occurred to me that these were actually decisions that I needed to make about myself, rather than things I needed to wait to be bestowed upon me. The same is true about authority, confidence, showing up, all of these kinds of things. These are decisions that you make. They're not qualities that you grow or that are given to you like a present or like a trophy. They're decisions. And when you learn how to make these decisions with a clear head, it's so much easier to be an authority. It's so much easier than how it feels when you're waiting for them to come to you. Like somehow you missed it when they passed those things out. It's not like that. These are decisions that you make. So, if this is speaking to you, I want to know which of these three that I gave examples of are ones that you relate to. Are you someone who battles perfectionism and procrastination? Like I said, they go together. Are you someone who puts on some type of a costume, whether it's a persona, whether it's doing a shot of tequila, whether it's your full face of makeup, your hair, your clothes, that you wouldn't dare go out in, that you wouldn't dare show up as an authority without those things for fear of looking like a fraud? Or whether it's indecision, whether it's not deciding, whether it's waiting for these things to come to you. Tell me which of these things you relate to, which of these things are you. And if you want help getting to the other side of this, let's have a conversation. You can hit me up at getmypowerup.com. Let's have a conversation about that. I want you to know that you've got this. It's not as hard as it may seem or feel or that you may think. It really isn't. It is a totally doable thing, and I would love to help you. This is what I do. So seriously, if I can make these decisions in the middle of the toughest grief I've ever experienced, then so can you. All right. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to talking to you soon.